Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. So as indicated in the previous video and also yesterday in the video, when we came down here, we would expect support at the channel low. So that worked out nicely because we had a cluster of support here. We had the previous swing low here from the 9th or the 10th of November. That is where Ethereum found support, plus we could draw a channel or a descending trend line here, which was support as well. And then I believe, if I remember correctly, we also had a target for the third wave based on Fibonacci extensions, which was the 1.236 Fibonacci extension. So we had a cluster of possible support here for this wave 3 to the downside. That is, by the way, currently the primarily expected scenario to play out. Different scenarios are possible. We are in a key decision phase here, in this region just above 1,000 US dollars. This is still a possible, let's call it long trade setup, even though it is getting increasingly challenged. But even in this possible long trade setup, I would expect it to go down a little bit lower in a fifth wave. But maybe we'll start from scratch here. Let's start the 4-hour chart. By the way, I took some of the subwaves out of this 1-hour chart, because the 4-hour chart, just because it doesn't. You don't need all the subwaves, and it was getting quite hard to read with all these waves on it, and we don't need them anymore. So my view is still that this could very, very well be a wave 1 to the upside and a wave 2 to the downside. And as long as we're holding the $1,000 level or just below that, I think latest targets show us a possible end of this current move down between $980 and $1,000. From here, we could then still rally in a wave 3. I know it's for many people unbelievable. And I know with the current sentiment, everybody thinks it's going to go down. And yes, this is very much possible. But the advantage of a scenario like this is that we are very, very close at support. I mean, we came already down to 1075, and the $1,000 level or just below that is basically the level below which such a bullish scenario will get very much unlikely. Okay, and we don't know if it's going to break or not. I think it very well could be. I mean, we're talking here about probabilities where you could say the bullish scenario might work 55% probability. The bearish one, which would be another low below $1,000, might be 45%. Yeah, so we are very close together. Please understand that. And however, it is not as simple as that. It's not as simple as that. When you trade this is actually a very, very interesting trade setup. Long at the moment, because you are so close to support that you can set a stop loss with fairly low risk, and the reward would be huge if the trade works out. If the trade doesn't work out, not a big deal. You set your trading range lower. I think that's what many people don't understand. You, of course, you're looking for high probability trades, yes, but you're also looking for high reward, low risk trades. And if we know very clearly where the invalidation point is, or at least the level where invalidation will get very likely, and you're deep in support, that is a possible long trade setup. We had a similar situation here where everybody expected the price to go lower. That was a support area and a buy range where we had 4 weeks of possible buying in, and we then made some nice profits. Yeah, on the way up, we scaled out, or I don't know what you did. I did scale out. I made you all aware. I had several buy orders and then set my stop loss higher. Got stopped out in profit of the remaining positions when we came down. I'm now in cash. I've already bought 2 positions again of ETH. And if it goes lower, it goes lower. But because I've got my stop loss, the loss would be tiny. Yeah. And then I would just wait for the next entry, right? But this is sort of, just be strategic about it. Yeah. Of course, I can't tell you this is definitely going to work out, or that is going to work out definitely. We can always only identify the 2 or 3 most likely scenarios, possible entry points, possible take profit areas, and most likely scenarios. And with 2 or 3 scenarios, you should be well equipped to know sort of what's going on. Also, if the primary scenario doesn't work out and the alternative is going to work out, you should immediately know sort of what is the next most likely option, and you can base your decisions on that, right? Because that's essentially what we can do. The market does something and we can only react. We don't want to be necessarily guessing what the market will do, because I often get the questions, what do you think? Is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? But that's not really interesting, because I can guess what I want, but in the end the market might do something different, and therefore we need to be equipped for 1, 2, or 3 scenarios, and then we can base our trading or investment decisions on that. At the moment, my view is that yes, surely we have a good chance still to find support above this $1,000 level, which would sit roughly here. Maybe a little bit lower. And as you can see, the subwaves would allow that as well. So if we have a 5-wave move down here, the 5th wave would be an ending diagonal. And in that 5th wave, we have done a 1, 2, 3, probably now the 4th wave that we've been waiting for. It is now in a resistance area, and the 5th wave could still come down into the region around $1,000. I showed in the previous video how various Fibonacci extensions would point to that level. Now, we are now moving up in this 4th wave. We've hit the target area, we've hit the resistance area that you would normally expect for a 4th wave. That is normally between the 23.6% Fib level and the 50%. If it goes above 1183, let's call it the $1,200 level. Just below that. But if we get above that level, then this wave count would not be valid anymore. By that time, we will also have broken out of the channel. What you need to be careful, if you have a diagonal, these ideal Fib levels often don't work out anymore, because it's a messy structure, a diagonal. So ideal Fib levels often don't work out. So in a wave 4, you could overshoot the 50% a little bit and things like that. That is what a diagonal is all about. Therefore, I'm using a channel, and if we break out of the channel to the upside, then it's most likely a different pattern. What do we then have? Bear in mind, we've got the wave 4 here, and the understanding currently is that we are in a wave 5, but it could very well be, and that would be the first call I'd make if we push any higher than, let's say, 1200, that we are here in a wave 4 to the upside, okay? Not this wave 4, or, well, the wave 4 that was here before, but it would then in fact be there. And the assumption is that we have then just seen A, B, C, and would then come down in the 5th wave. That is very much possible, because as you can clearly see, the move down occurred only in 3 waves, which is also possible as a B wave. That low did not go below that low, and therefore wave B possible, and we could look at a wave C to the upside. But I would only consider that if we get above that $1,200 level and break out of the range to the upside. Then we could get a more extended wave 4. In fact, this could all still, but that's way too early to say that, this could become a massive triangle as well. But that's always possible in a wave 4. So yeah, we haven't really broken the previous low, so there is still a chance to move sideways for a bit while maybe Bitcoin makes new lows, whatever. And then we might come down here to the $1,000 level and could still rally from there, and that would be still the bullish scenario, and that's still possible, right? But we go level by level, we take what's in front of us. At the moment, what's in front of us is this scenario here, where we could reverse in this area all the way up to $1,200, and then come down in the 5th wave into the region around $1,000. However, if we break below $1,000 very clearly, then it is most likely that we're going to lose the June low level and will come down to $650 US. So it's highly interesting at the moment. At least we've sort of broken out of the range. The move up at the moment looks like a 3-wave move. That would currently be in line with a wave 4. But if we push up in 5 waves and even break out of the channel, then we have to consider something more bullish here. Well, or at least, short-term bullish at least, right? In an extended wave 4. And if we then also break above the 1345 level, we might actually consider that as a decent breakout. So if we get 5 waves and then 3 waves down, then this would be a 1-2 setup, and we could say that the wave 2 was already in. Yeah, this would then be a bullish trade setup scenario, or well, long trade scenario that would be working out. But for that purpose, I already bought 2 long positions, as I mentioned, and will take profits should we push higher, which is absolutely a possibility. Okay, and that's my update about Ethereum. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.